Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. Well, as the unseasonably hot and dry weather continue to hit much of our area, producers are being reminded to have good records on hand in case devastation hits. That was the message that Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon had for the producers attending this week's Elk Fire community meeting in Ranchester.
The main thing, Andy, is that people have got to keep good records. You know, I hate, it's terrible to have all the losses and the fires and the panic that goes along with all that, but you got to, if you lost hay, we need to know what kind of hay that's lost. Those kinds of things will come in handy when we're trying to get whatever recourse we can from the feds, from the insurance, from everybody else.
Now, in addition to the governor's speech, Fire Incident Commander Casey Cheesebro told me the producers should have a plan in place for knowing which gates to leave open or where to cut the fence if needed.
I'm not getting caught off guard. I would say have a plan of what gates, what things need to be open for livestock to be able to move away from the fire. Oftentimes when things develop where we do find livestock fatalities is in those corners or near areas where they're used to being able to get through at times, and they just can't get through a fence or something. So be thinking ahead on what you need to do on your property to make sure the livestock can move somewhere.
Now, of course, we do have a list of ways that you can help out on our website, northernag.net. Well, the International Longshoremen's Association and the U.S. Maritime Alliance released a joint statement Thursday evening announcing an end, at least temporarily that is, to the work stoppage that shut down the East and Gulf Coast ports, that is, earlier this week. U.S. Meat Export Federation President and CEO Dan Halstrom says the end of the strike is terrific news and says the U.S. livestock producers and exporters ship more than $100 million of U.S. pork and beef alone through those ports each week. The sides agreed to extend the current master contract until January 15th, that is, of next year, and to reopen all affected ports while the negotiations continue on those outstanding contract issues. Well, that's all for Ag News right now, but join me back here in 30 seconds as we look over more Ag News and your markets.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Welcome back, and we talk about, according to a Drover's article, that is, a group of Democrats in Denver announced their position to reject a proposal to ban slaughterhouses within the Denver city limits, ultimately joining other groups opposing that measure. The Central Committee of Denver Democratic Party recently voted 207 to 12 to endorse a no position on the proposal, which voters will address next month. Of course, the measure would outlaw the construction, maintenance, or use of any meat processing facilities in Denver beginning on January 1st of 2026, as well as requiring the city to prioritize residents whose employment is affected by those ordinance and workforce training or employment assistance programs. As we turn to our markets, cash cattle markets saw some solid gains throughout the week after the cattle futures posted support and box beef values saw steady inclines. Next week's activity, though, will need to see the mimic of the markets, as that's what they're going to need to achieve that same goal. However, there is potential for some profit taking. Now, the wobbles in the market could create some questions for cattle buyers as the fall run starts ramping up in the local sale barns. For Bell Fuchsia livestock, they continue to see some of those yearlings test the market as spring calves are starting to show up in minimal amounts. Sticking in the Dakota country for our sheep auctions, it was a big test of feeder lambs at Newell on Thursday. Most prices softened in the week-over-week comparison. However, the 70-pound lambs did see the largest head count and managed to hold above the previous week's average, while coal markets were not accurately tested for a comparison. And Friday's softer wheat prices were expected after solid gains were noted throughout the week. Dryness in the U.S. Southern Plains, along with those in the Russia and Ukraine areas, helped drive the dollars throughout the week. And spring wheat also saw the upticks to their markets, as well as those wheat exports do remain 23% above the previous marketing year. Now, much like wheat, row crops did see a pullback and a profit-taking day before the weekend after the technical position found itself in an oversold market. Well, there's all we have for your Ag News and Markets. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.